Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, this is going to be a bonus general message. And these are the ones that I usually start out with something real, some anecdote, something about my dog. And then we see if that sets the tone for things. Um, oh my gosh, I had company staying, and Aries likes things to be on his terms. And he loves people and he loves my company. And so, he he would run down the hall and go whack on their door to announce that he needed to come in and say hello. And in fact, he needed to say good night and he needed to say good morning. And somewhere in the middle of the night, he might need to pop in just to check in on them. And so, like, keeping him away from the door was a bit, was a bit of a job for me. Hey, Miss Hermit, good to see you, beauty. So maybe somebody is just very happy to see someone and doesn't want them out of their sight. We'll start that way because that is literally what it was with Aries this weekend. We got Strength card in the reverse. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Leo energy. This is fear. By the way, I have to, full disclosure, I already did a bonus message and it is still processing. It'll come out whenever it comes out. It's a YouTube thing. So I'm kind of at the mercy of when it's done, but that's okay. But I will say, out of a totally different deck, we ended up with the strength card in the reverse for the first card as well. So I don't know if we're going to get a similar message, but we'll read it however it comes out. 3 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. Okay, so somebody's scared of connecting, somebody's scared of giving, and yet this is such lovely energy upright, right? This is, this is working together with the soulmate. This is returning to a soulmate, but obviously we see somebody who wants to give equally but already feels at a disadvantage. They picture themselves coming back in and offering their cup, and they already, like, I can see where the fear is coming from. It never feels good, or at least I don't think anybody enjoys feeling like they're in the diminutive position. Like, will what I offer be good enough? Will the gift that I'm giving, will my cup of love, will my presence even be welcomed? This is like nerve-wracking for somebody, because it's not just like somebody goes, well, I'm going to go to this Christmas party, this soiree, but I don't really know if people are going to be happy to see me. I'm kind of like, I feel like an outsider. It's not even like that level. This is like, I'm going to come and talk to the person, the one person on earth that I most want to connect with. And I feel this much at a disadvantage. I feel like I'm a kid approaching an adult. I feel like they're way above me. This character may have put their soulmate energy on such a pedestal that they are doing themselves and the situation a great disservice, because of course it's going to give them the jitters. Of course they're creating like nervousness because I'm not good enough to talk to this person. And it's like, hopefully this character can remember that all individuals are equal. Everybody has equal worth. Their love, their cup that they could offer somebody, that every single human being has equal worth and value. So when we offer somebody our heart, our love, that is always a beautiful gift, right? But this character, they're still feeling like it's not enough. Fool card, but they're going to do it anyway. Good for them. Good for you, darling. Good for you. Go for it. This storyline is not that different from the other bonus message that I got. I will mention that. Little different vibe to it, but the major essence is the exact same. 7 of Pentacles is sideways. 7 of Pentacles sideways is, they're trying to delay it by just a little tiny bit. Do I do it this week or do I do it next week? I feel like this storyline is coming right up. Obviously, I'm a fictional storyteller, not a psychic, so I'm not doing predictions here, but for this character that we're telling a story about, timing is something that they're weighing heavily. They're not maybe quite ready to take that leap and make, harvest what their plan is and see it come to full fruition and then just see what happens. But nor are they saying, oh gosh, I need to give up on this plan. They're somewhere in between. This Fool says they're ready to take that leap, even though they're petrified. This says it's somewhere in the next week. Is it this week or is it next? Why are you putting it off? Come on, character. The Fool was right there. You're ready to go. You're ready to leap. Why are you putting it off? Knight of Pentacles. Maybe it's 3 days, and on the 4th they'll arrive. And I only suggest that because we got 3 clocks on the tree of life here. I don't think it's 3 months. I'm going with a week. And now we're going to, maybe they have to travel. Maybe it'll take them 3 days to get there. Maybe they're on the move. Our knights are action takers. Why they're taking 3 days, I don't know. Eight of Wands, High Priestess. Okay, this is highly specific, but listen, I roll with whatever stories we get, right? You notice how the magical wands are coming in through the windows, not in through the doors. So if somebody is literally traveling, they're taking a different route. They're not taking a direct route. If it takes them longer to get to this person, this soulmate, it is because they are taking the long route. They're maybe gonna, like, say this is somebody who's traveling across, a couple different towns or a couple different states or something, or maybe just one state, but they're gonna first, like, maybe zigzag their way, and they're gonna stop and see, their nana, and then they're gonna, the next day they're gonna stop and visit with, some other friend. It could be that they're actually, we're gonna dig into this for just a moment, but it could be that they need to stop and communicate with a couple of important people in their life, maybe to give them strength. Sometimes when we touch base with other strong bonds in our life, it reminds us that, it like gives us strength, because it's like, okay, my friends like me, okay, my nana likes me, okay, that this is feeling pretty good. Now maybe I'll have more courage to do the big scary thing, which is I need to communicate to this soulmate. Now, here's the thing. There's also an element that of underlying energetic knowing that this was always going to happen. Both our lead character knows it and whomever their soulmate knows it. They could be coming to speak to a high priestess, and that high priestess could have she may not be surprised at all. Even if they arrive in an interesting way, they could come, at an odd time of the day or the night, when they suddenly reach out and say, hi, I'm in town, or I'll be in your area in like 3 hours. She may not be surprised at all to hear from them. Now, the other thing, though, is we do have the energy of something hidden when we see the high priestess. We also have an energy of like tremendous amounts of passion. She's a very sensual individual, but she doesn't usually show it. It's kind of reserved only for, those eyes that she chooses to share that with. So I feel like there is an underlying excitement at hearing from this person. And I'm going to say they are going toward this. I'll call them a knight right now, because we don't have another name for them just yet. But this knight is coming toward a high priestess, is what it looks like. Now, it doesn't matter to me about genders. My stories are not gender specific. They never are. It's always just about the energy vibe. But tell me about, what are they doing with the 3-day zigzag storyline part? Page of Swords. Yeah, I do feel like they're intentionally, I don't want to say that they're dragging their heels. I do think that they might be using this time to kind of gather information, maybe also to figure out exactly where is she now. My impression is for this person to be this nervous about coming forward to make an offer, but them being willing to take this leap of faith. There is something about travel. To me, there is something that I see about travel. And I feel like they have to kind of investigate one step at a time. Maybe she lives in a place they've never been. So traveling, they actually have to, kind of break it up, because they gotta get accustomed to the terrain. They've got to, the Hermit. This is definitely about a journey, but they also, them slowing things down, them taking these 3 days. They are, if they do connect with anybody else along the way, to touch base with friends or something, or other good relationships to kind of bolster their courage, it's equally as important, though, that they spend some quiet time on their own, and they know that as well. We got Virgo energy here. This is somebody it's almost like they're in a meditative state on this journey as well. I mean, obviously not so meditative that they don't pay attention to the road if they're driving, but they have to still ask themselves every step of the way, why am I doing this? And I think it's getting clearer and clearer to them. They're understanding their own motives better and better. Yes, they're scared. Yes, they're coming forward. Let me just ask, what do they discover about these actions that they're taking, about the fact that they are headed toward this high priestess? What is it that they are understanding about their own actions? Because I do feel like they have to think long and hard about this. They're asking themselves the hard questions. We have got the Magician, we've got the Devil, we've got the 8 of Pentacles, we got the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so, oh boy, let me try to keep those in order. If they're doing some subconscious deep dive as they're approaching her, the time that they take to actually bring forth this conversation with her, they are able to ask themselves, what am I really doing here? And it's like, I'm trying to manifest the thing that frankly I've been obsessed with. It's not going away because of what it is I really, really, really want it. The Devil to me is not always a negative card. It does represent intensity. Represents Capricorn. By the way, we also have Virgo Gemini here with the Magician. But I feel as if this character they're realizing just how important this is to them. They can't stop thinking about it. It's almost like, I don't want to say this person is like zombies going after brains, but there is like an insatiable, I have to do this. It's not even something that they could prevent themselves from doing. Yes, they're scared, but the idea of them coming toward the high priestess to communicate with her is not something they could prevent themselves from doing, because it's like they're on autopilot. It's like their subconscious has taken the driver's seat and their subconscious says, I have to because I think about it day and night and day and every second, every waking moment. I mean, that's freaking maddening at some point. I just want to offer to put effort into this, see if I can work on something with her. Because if I don't, you know what? I'm going to keep living in this place of lack and loss for not having tried. That, to me, that's the acknowledgement that this has become like toxic for them to not take action, because it'd be better to just know. And then they can start letting those tears fall if her answer is a big fat no way. So it's better to rip off the Band-Aid and just go find out, because they think about it day and night anyway. They think about bringing in this offer, and yes, it's freaking terrifying to do it, but it's also more frustrating and tiring perhaps to not know what she would say if they came forward and just said, well, what do they want to say? Let's let them talk. What do they want to say? Really, what's their heart want to say? Ace of Wands. I want you. I want this. I've been lingering in the shadows. This person is all kinds of revved up. We've got a big old jungle cat back here hiding in the shadows. This person has had huge passion. I think they've had eyes only for this high priestess for a long time. I think that this is the person that they have wanted. And I think that they're to that kind of like that raw animal energy of, I desperately want this. And there's, to me, an ace is always personal. And this is personal desire. They really want this. And what does that mean? I mean, are they just starved for physical affection? Remember, this is a 6 of Cups. They feel like this person is their soulmate. No, it's not just a raw animal basic desire. It's the 2 of Cups. So, and this is so wild, because the other video that I already did as a bonus message, it's still processing. I'm not even kidding you. This could practically be the same storyline. I will release that one as well, just because it's uncanny to get out of different decks to get basically the same story back to back. But I'm going to say the same thing there that I said here. The 2 of Cups card, it's really common that we refer to it as the twin flame energy. If you watch my channel any length of time, I feel very differently about twin flame stuff. I've always just mentioned that because I have a broader view of things, and I don't agree with a lot of the mythos that goes along with the twin flame stuff. And as a fictional storyteller, I just like to I like to always give the broader perspective, especially because it's my art, so it's my lips. Please know, however you feel about this, awesome, good on you. You do you, boo. Believe in what you believe in. For myself, though, I'm just going to clarify this and say when I see the Two of Cups card, I describe it as a profound and meaningful, loving bond. Um, and just briefly, because people always ask me, what do you mean? I'll go ahead and explain it. To me, I don't like the twin flame stuff where there's the mythos around it that only, 144,000 souls get to be this select group. I don't like exclusionary anything. I don't think love is something that only certain people get to experience, or degrees of love that only certain groups are entitled to experience. I don't like that kind of stuff, because to me, love it's ubiquitous and it's equal for everyone if we choose to engage in it. It's very much a choice, in my opinion. So that's one of my first reasons. And the second is I don't care for the idea that it's one soul that's looking for the other half of themselves, because I don't understand wanting to date oneself. I think a different but complementary energy creates a more harmonious vibe, but not necessarily as the same thing looking for its own self. But and point three, I'll just go ahead and say is I think sometimes the whole twin flame journey and the mythos surrounding that and how devastating it can feel, and there's separation period, and then they come back together after they've worked on things. I think expecting love to always have to have this pattern that's painful and there's pushing apart to then come back together later kind of sets this precedence. It always has to be like destructive first before, and I just don't believe that. I don't believe in any of that. So that's me. Doesn't mean I'm right. Not trying to tell you what's right or what's true, just mentioning it because this card has such a profound meaning and there's so much attached to it that people assume that I must mean that too, and I don't. So forgive me for babbling about that, but I think it's important to just know you are most welcome here if you do believe in the mythos of the twin flame stuff. That's you do you, but I don't, and that's my reasoning why. But anyway, there. So now there's a different spin on this for whomever chooses to, question it or look at it from different views. It's all just however you see things anyway. It's all fiction in my world anyway. But I do think that this is a very profound and meaningful bond. I think that we want to talk about it as soulmates, twin flames, doesn't matter. To me, it's all the same. It's somebody who never forgot another person that's really important to them. We meet a lot of people in this world, but not everybody carries the same place in our heart. This relationship is special because this character never forgot her. This character has always known that this is someone that they have wanted, that they have, this is a memory burned in their mind. When they're gray haired, they're going to think back to this person and they're going to remember the importance of this connection. And at this point, they're like, why, if it's this important, why am I just carrying it around up here instead of taking action while I can to maybe try to kiss those lips again and be with this person? That's pretty brave for this person to, go towards someone that they say, I'm alive now. Why would I constantly hold back all because of fear? Even though it feels scary to come forward, especially when they don't feel like they have enough to offer somebody that they've put on a bit of a pedestal, but they're going to do it anyway. Very brave. Good for you, character. Good for you. I love that. To me, that's a great example of love, when somebody is scared, but they get out of their own ego to come forward and give their love to somebody anyway. I think that overcoming our own ego to love another is a great example of love. But again, that's just my 2 cents thrown in. Doesn't mean I'm right. What the heck do I know? I'm just a flawed human and a fictional storyteller. We got a high priestess here, though, that we need to talk about because she's a big player here. And I want to know why it comes across like this character senses something also, understands something. Queen of Cups. She's in a real warm heart space also. She's in a space of love. She's asking the universe, like offering her love up, but also willing to receive, which is a really nice vibe. No wonder she's not really shocked that this person is coming in, because she personally has taken action and said to the universe, universe, I'm here to love. I'm on this planet for, to experience love. And I have a lot to give, but I also would like to receive that in return. And I'd like to share that with whomever is in my greatest and highest good. I don't know that she was specifically saying, if it's supposed to be them, please bring them back to me. She might have been. She might have done something very symbolic and actually said those words, in her heart or her mind, or maybe done something like that, like symbolic and physical, intangible, to express that. Was it about them, or was it just to connect to the universe? Okay, I'm going to say it was about them. And I say that because I know that judgment card came out sideways. But if we look at this, we see her walking in almost a dream state into the cosmos. And what's so prominent in the sky is someone's face. So I feel as if she can identify the person. When I said it's like they have held on to this image and her mind, or in their mind, of what she looks like. The importance of this connection was burned into their memory. Well, it was in hers too, is what I would argue. Are they meant to be with her? Well, everybody makes their own destiny. What's meant to be or not meant to be, it depends on what actions we take. And sometimes we go after really destructive things, insisting it's meant to be, when really it's just that we want it, and we won't acknowledge that it's destructive, and it's us who maybe needs to let go of the reins and identify, if it's not making us a better, stronger, kinder, more loving person, then maybe we should think about what it is we're trying to go after. But that's not what this is. She's in a great space. In this storyline, she's saying, universe, I would like to give and receive love in this lifetime. Do I hold in my mind the vision of somebody who I believe is really important to me? Yes. Am I going to reconcile with them? Well, if it's in my greatest and highest good, and if they want the same energy with me, if they want to give and receive love the same way I want to give and receive it, then universe, I'm ready to have them back in my world, if that is the energy that we could share. It feels like she, as much as she can see their face, she's also still not insisting it has to be them. But subconsciously or intuitively, she's aware how she feels about them. And if she thought, I know that they loved me too, then I would just say, even though we can love somebody and it can still be a big old mess for a while, if we ask ourselves, but was there something true and real with that person? And the answer is yes, then that can still be true, simultaneous to the fact that sometimes we can love somebody and they love us and we're still not good for each other because it's a mess. But in this case, she's very open, it seems like, to the reality of all of that. If they were healthy enough and wanted to love me the same way I want to give love to them, then would I want them back? Yes, under those circumstances. If it can be healed and if we could really do this, then yes, because I see their face in my mind. So of course my heart goes to them. But she is not saying she wants something toxic back. That judgment card is sideways. She's not demanding it. She's saying only if it can be good, then I would want it back. And I think it's a very important aspect of this, which I'm super thrilled to see. And we got this 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands in the upright. She is very much aware that things don't have to be perfect to still be doable. 5 of Wands is the lessons and the practice that a character goes through. It does require change, because 5 is a number of change. But it's not like, okay, sign me up. We're going to be miserable together. I'm down to, duke it out and fight it out with this person. No, what she's saying is, I would be willing to find compromise and to grow with a person, so long as I'm not growing into a destructive pattern. That's maybe the best way to say this. So I would say she's very clear-eyed about this, about what it would be like if they were back in her world and what might happen, what the potential could be. But she still isn't demanding it, because for some reason, it's as if they would have to be the ones to re-enter into her world. Hers, his, doesn't matter. I don't read for genders, but right now, to keep the storyline straight, we'll definitely call her her and him him. Why is it on him to come forward? Why is it his role to come forward? We have a 9 of Swords and we have a 7 of Pentacles. Here's what I'm going to suggest. You know how we started out with them still feeling fear and feeling like a discrepancy or an ineptitude or like a not enough kind of energy? The fact that that is perhaps the underlying reason, because here we have fear again, and here we have the need to not let fear lead, to quit waiting for fear to go away, because sometimes the only way for fear to go away is for us to face that fear. And it's like they're having this divine awareness. You see the rainbow that's casting across that temporal region. It's almost like she knows, I can't chase somebody who keeps being scared that somehow they're not going to be enough. It's like the underlying issue here has been, what if I'm not enough and she doesn't want to stay with me? If that's been what has kept them away, that's probably why she's saying, it isn't upon me to chase them around and try to convince them. They have to want to face that fear that they have, because I'm not the one putting the fear in them. I'm the one sending out love. So if they don't want to face that fear, then they're not going to come toward me. So I can't do anything. It's they who have to face their fear if they want to, and then they can come toward me. She's not holding that fear against them at all in this. She's just, and it's not even her looking at these, because I just said, I asked the big question, not on behalf of her, but like, why is it them that seems to be the one who has to step forward? And it says, because they have to get tired of being fearful enough that it keeps them staying away from the person that they most want. And as we saw, they are sick and tired of being scared themselves. So they're going for it, is what we've seen in this. I don't see any blockage. If they actually step forward, if they overcome that fear and they step forward to her, she's in such a receptive energy, eyes wide open, not expecting perfection, but saying, if they met me in the energy that they wanted to give and receive love, I think that we could work things out. We could find a way. Yes, it would transform both of us if we were to be together. We'd have to learn about each other's triggers and fears. We'd have to support each other. We'd have a lot of things, and we'd probably have some bumps along the road. But if we actually both wanted to do this because there's love here and that's what we're fighting for, then we could learn each other if love is the motive here. So what happens with these two? I've actually really enjoyed this story. Four of Cups in the reverse. Let me put it this way. It doesn't mean that they're going to skip off into the sunset holding hands and everything's going to be perfect like the end of a movie. What it means is they're not going to be sorry that they give it their all. Only because with the Four of Cups in the reverse, this says we're not going to miss a chance to have greatness. We're not going to miss a chance. If they sat here and did nothing, they would be missing the potential opportunity of what could have been. This way, if they're going to at least try this together, because they both remember each other and they care about each other, at least when they're old and gray, they don't have to look back and say, God, if only I had been brave enough to just try it and tell that person how I felt. When they get old and gray, whether they sunk or swum in this storyline, they'll still say, I'm sure glad that I gave that a whirl. I'm sure glad that I was brave enough to step up and, try to love the person that I love. Maybe they'll still suck together. There's no promises in anything, but they're not going to be sorry that they tried, is what the final message is in this. And I'm not going to dig any further and say, but what about this? What about, will they make it? Because that's up to them. Will they make it? Well, it's going to, I think like any relationship, it's going to require that they're patient and that they're understanding and that they forgive each other for their, weaknesses and fears. If neither character is out to cause one another harm, I don't see why this couldn't work. If neither person is going to punish each other and get hostile and stonewall each other and, blackball each other and refuse to collaborate, then I don't see how this wouldn't work when there's love here. At the end of the day, if there's love and no desire to wound each other, of course they'll still wound each other. There's no way not to, because we're humans. We mistake things. We don't know what each other's triggers are. We hurt each other. And then if we're big enough to say, I'm sorry, I didn't want to hurt you, and we mean it, and we really try to learn, and the other person is gracious enough to genuinely forgive, I could see this really working. Anyway, the energy here is really nice. All right, you guys. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me. Lots of love to you guys. As I always say, I'm a fictional storyteller. If you do enjoy the stories and, for the entertainment that it is, then please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It lets me know you like the channel and want me to keep doing it, and then I certainly will. I thank you guys very, very much. All right, everyone. I will see you in some of the next videos that I pop out tonight. we'll do a singles read next, and then I'm going to still get to at least a handful of the zodiacs. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, you guys, take care. Bye.